y'all, it's time for rolling dice and taking names. In this episode, the guys review Skyrise, Granblue Fantasy, and Squirrels the card game. I will be joining Marty for a review of Donut Shop and a special Taste Buds.
Hello and welcome to episode number 324, the Mississippi Squirrel Revival. I'm Tony.
I'm Marty, and I remember loving the song as a kid. I can't remember a lot of it. I think I used to know the lyrics. What is it? A squirrel got loose in a church.
Yes.
It's by Ray Stevens, right? Got loose in a church and caused havoc or something, running up women's dresses, or I think there was some line like that or something like that.
Something like that. And I mean, Ray Stevens, growing up as a kid, oh man, he was like he was a Weird Al Yankovic in country. I
was getting ready to say that. He was, yes, the early Weird Al with the songs, with the really funny stories. Was he the one that did the Streaker? Oh, yes, they called him the Streak. Yeah. Yeah,
they called him the Streak. Yep. Boogie Dad.
Boy.
God, played that so many. I bet my parents wanted to break that 45 in half. I played the mess out of that song.
When you're a little kid, you think that's just the funniest thing in the world.
Oh, yeah. And the Shriners Convention was the other one.
Shriners Convention. Now, that one I don't remember.
Okay.
So going down memory lane in 70s funny songs, do you remember the song called Mr. Jaws, where they told a story of Jaws and they took snippets of songs and had like that as the answer and response? I had that on 45 and wore that out.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Because one of them, they did it every year. That's it.
Big boy, stay quiet. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So Mr. Jaws, how was it? Big boy, stay quiet. So Mr. Jaws, what do you think? Dynamite. I mean, gosh,
because they would snip
that song. That's crazy.
They would snippet various songs that were very popular that year.
Yes.
And what was the name of the company that came out with that? And they also did the greatest hits. There was a special
K-Tail.
K-Tail. Where'd you pull that from?
I don't know. If that's $5, it's $5, so be it. But K-Tail just immediately came to my mind because I do remember them putting out compilation albums of popular songs that you would find at Kmart and stuff like that. And I would buy those as a way to listen. It's like top 40 songs they released each year.
I got a feeling you're going to be owing somebody because Google is not finding K-Tail for me. But yeah, because there was another one, I think, Canadian company Formula specialized in selling consumer products, infomercials, and live demonstrations. I maybe it had it. I don't know. The Hit Machine. Yep, that's it. K-Tail.
Is it K-Tail?
The Hit Machine. They would do the best of, and they would do. It's kind of like me doing the trivia for the neighborhood and coming up with, Muzak was the answer, and everybody was like, because the question was, this was invented to help ease passengers in elevators' fears, and the answer is Muzak.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and the guy who came up with it, I think if I remember correctly, it was Squire. I don't remember. He did that, and he liked Kodak's name so much that he called it Muzak, and it became the company, and therefore you have Muzak. I was like, get out of 10, learn something new every day.
So this song, Mr. Jaws, was by Dickie Goodman, and it was released under Cash Records. So I'm not sure where I'm getting K-Tail from then. I just remember K-Tail was a collection of songs, and they used to put out albums of songs. Sorry.
Oh, memory lane for us. But you know what's going to be a memory for a lot of people coming in August?
What's that?
The 2024 Strike Tournament. Gladiators in the arena versus dice in the bowl.
Yes.
I need to order some stickers. Note to self. Okay.
All right. So, y'all, we are blown away.
Flabbergasted
by y'all's response. As promised on our Discord channel, we released the tickets a day early. Before the last episode came out, which when we announced the tickets were open. And the people on our Discord channel bought 50 of the 80 available tickets in one day. When the episode went live the next day, the rest of the 30 were gone. And we've since then opened up 10 more, and they're gone. That's 90 tickets, which is the most we've ever sold for this event. And I'm just blown away. They've never gone this fast before.
Thank you so much for everyone who is coming to the event. Really looking forward to it. I mean, we didn't have to go on our knees begging to David Waybright, son of a, and
who's actually going to be a guest there.
Yeah, but I better clean up my language around him then. But yes, we didn't have to go to him and ask him to push it or blue peg, pink pad, blue peg, pink peg. Thank you. Thank you to everyone who bought their tickets. We hope it's worth the value that you're getting out of this.
Tony, you and I have seen early versions of the t-shirt that Ravensburger is designing, and I think y'all are going to be blown away. I think it's going to be a great commemorative t-shirt for the event.
We'll all have one. Well, I will not be wearing it because I will have my Gladiators in the Arena shirt on. And if you want to go over to Redbubble and look for Emily Rose, look for her designs to help support your team, go ahead and get that order in. I've gone over to Redbubble. That's where I will get the stickers for the event. So when you walk into the door, for those of you that are making it, you will pick your side by picking a sticker. So I will go ahead and put 100 Gladiators in the Arena stickers and maybe 10 Dice in the Bowl. I'll order that amount.
Then I'll just have to get people to jump sides again, so I actually have a chance of winning.
Oh, good God.
Okay. Also, Emily reached out to me and said, hey, I got another idea. What do you think? And she's going to do something else for the event that I'm excited for you guys to see. It just has to do a little something for the winners of each side of the tournament. So there'll be a little something special at the end of the tournament, too, for the winner, for whoever represents which side.
Yeah, I hope Emily and John were able to make it. So.
Oh, they are.
Excellent.
They got tickets. So, yeah, guys, we're blown away. Typically, we have to, ask people to promote it and stuff like that. And I'm glad y'all see value in this. We hope you do. It's always a good time. And the fact that Ravensburger's on board with us, along with Good Games Publishing, along with Miniature Market, they're bringing it and helping us really put on what's going to be, I think, one of the best events we've had so far. For the sixth event. Wow.
We're getting old. That's a given. Want to talk to you. Sometimes we get replays in and sometimes it's not with you and I. I was able, and by the way, people loved your story. And some people were commenting on Discord on the fact that they were able to get their entire workout in. Oh,
you mean the story from the last episode? For context.
Yes, thank you.
The
for
long
context,
moving story. Yes, yeah.
Yes, and Donna appreciated that, especially the part about the awning of the Taco Bell, where you help them adjust it.
Yeah.
Where Marty pulls, I think this truck's not 11 feet high. And I was like, yeah, that's that engineer. We estimate. Engineers estimate.
Yes, yeah. My height guess is not very good. It's like you're sitting in an elevated truck and you're looking. You go, why would they make something that wouldn't fit? That's got to be a standard size truck. I was thinking this is standard size. We'll go right underneath that sucker.
Anyway, we'll get back to what I'll start. No. I wanted to ask: Has Adam gotten everything in the house? Is everything good?
Everything's in the house.
Is it organized?
You know how it is when you move. That takes a long time to get situated.
Not that I'm being too nosy, but I'm being too nosy. How many bedrooms the boy got?
They only needed 2. Mm-hmm.
No, they didn't. They needed at least 4.
Yeah, well, this is a young, newly married couple with a baby who got a nice little apartment downtown near the school.
Whose daddy goes to the Southern Fried Gaming Expo, who needs cheap stay.
Oh, no. At the Southern Fried, you got to stay on site because you staying up late and getting up early. No, Southern Fried, okay. You got to be there. No, well, actually, one reason for Southern Fried you want to stay there is the Braves are going to be in there that weekend. So you want to claim a parking spot and not move the entire time, which is what I typically do.
And that is sold out, correct?
The hotel's sold out. The event's not sold out.
Okay, so, and I know I threw you a curveball. I apologize for that. But yeah, just that's coming up fast. That's coming up real fast.
Middle of July.
Middle of July.
We will be there. I will be there. I wish Tony would go. You would love it so much.
I will. I'll get down there. It's tough.
And I think I may have an extra bed too this time because Vanessa's going to be hanging out with the little grandson potentially.
Where is she sleeping?
She'll
on the couch.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She'd do that in a heartbeat. just to see the grandchild, which that just means I have space in my room. So I'm just saying it's a good time.
Travis and Brett are there, right?
Nope. Travis and Brett are staying with their friend. We have 2 rooms. So they got their buddies that they're staying with.
Wow.
They've recruited their other friends to go. So they got 5 in a room.
And while I keep talking, go ahead and look up those dates for everybody if people are unaware of it. So what I'm hearing is maybe I'll have to check the calendar, see where I'm at, and see if I am available. Because I might be able to swing this somewhat.
19th through the 21st.
19th through the 21st.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Down in Hotlanta. So drive in Thursday night?
Typically, that's what we do. We've also done Friday morning.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
I can't remember what nights we got it for, but I think I did book it for Thursday night. But we're trying to, me and one of the coordinators, Shannon, we're trying to plan a Star Wars Unlimited event.
Yeah, I was leading into that. I was getting there. I saw that email that you and Shannon are trying to, that'll be exciting.
Yeah. So we're trying to do something, but you'd love it.
I know.
Here's the thing. Being an old school computer guy like me, going to the computer room where they have all the old computers going back to the 70s, 80s, 90s and stuff, you would love going into it's like a computer museum they set up every year.
I could go in there. I could break off some serious basic programming on the VIC-20 and make it make noise.
I mean, they have all those, they have those things running. I mean, you could sit down and play with them. They have them all working and everything. Old VAX machines.
Wow. Okay. Do they have them network? We could throw some Pascal on it.
Last year it was really cool. They had a working rotary phone that was connected so that you could dial out. And so parents would bring their kids and say, figure out how this works and call me. And it was like, and so they were like, they didn't know the rotor rotated. So they would just push the numbers in the holes. It was the funniest thing.
Man. So, hey, if you're in the Atlanta area, be sure to check it out. That Marty's telling you got some tickets that are available.
Oh, yeah.
You got the video games. You've got, as he was just saying, a lot of museum pieces are out there. There's a huge board gaming that's taking over as well.
100%. RPGs, miniature games, board games, the 2 wrestling shows, which people love, the pepper eating contest, which is always fun to go to. They have an 80s dance, if you're into that. Vanessa and I did that last year. Tantrum Con's usually there running some games and panels and stuff. So there's video game panels, there's RPG panels, board game panels. There's a lot going on it's an omni gamer that goes from tabletop games all the way through video games.
Mm-hmm. And that is a month away from now. So yeah, I'll see what I can do. I will look at the old calendar, see what Donna's got planned for me, and if I'm not keeping grand dogs or whatever, maybe I can get down there. We'll see. We'll see what we can swing this year.
That'd
Make
be
it
sweet.
happen.
Yep.
All right. So as I started this out before I really did do a hard squirrel, I got to do a replay of Tokaido Duo. I believe I'm saying that correct. Tokaido. Thank you. Tokaido Duo. And I taught it to my son-in-law, and he really enjoyed that. Do you remember this one?
I do. I think it's a solid game.
Mm-hmm. And he beat the pants off me. He actually recognized the strategy of the painter to get everything uncovered and then put all those away. He kept taking the painting dice and it was pissing me off, but he was in position.
I think if I remember correctly, that's one of those you really need to focus on like 1 or 2 of them and not try to do all 3. So he went the painting route. Yeah.
He went the painting route, and it was forcing me to try to take that painting dice. So there's 3 things. There's the pilgrim, the merchant, and the artist. And they each have tracks that you're independent of one another, where the artist is trying to do murals and deliver the paintings. The pilgrim is going around and he is trying to visit the temples and the gardens and advance that. And then, of course, the merchant, he is collecting goods and then selling goods collecting goods from the mountains and selling them to the coast. And he is trying to collect money. And every time he gets 10, he's able to turn that in, and that advances his track for victory points. So you have all that going on. He was recognizing that I was concentrating on the pilgrim and the merchant, trying to balance that. So he went straight painter. To be honest with you, every time I rolled that dice, the painting dice, there was nothing for me to do with him, because it was like I could turn over 1 painting, but that was not using the dice to my best where I needed to use it for the merchant or use it for the pilgrim. So yeah, solid game. He really liked it. He really liked the fact that it played very quick. What he didn't like was how long it took us to set it up. But I was like, well, it would have helped had I separated out the pieces. That would have helped out a lot. So when I brought it home, I am going to go back through it. So, I'd forgotten about that. And when I was looking and I was going to go see them, I was like, you know what? I need to take a simple game for he and I to play, not a game like a GMT 2-player game. So I took that one, and he said, some of these games I just really enjoy. I said, well, thanks. I'm glad you enjoy this one, and you beat the snot out of me.
And it's a small box game too, right?
Small box, yeah. 2-player only. Still got to get the original out. Still, it's sitting there. I need to get that one out on the table.
I think Donna would like it.
I do too.
Yeah,
absolutely. Didn't get a chance to play Kanbanga, but maybe next time with the group. We'll see what it is. Had a lot of stuff going on.
I got the copy you bought me, and I still haven't taken the shrink off of it, so it says a lot. Okay.
Well, eventually when the fam gets over, we got the 4th of July coming up. When they come over, they can play.
Father's Day's coming up.
They can play a game. That's right.
After this show comes out, it'll already happened, but yeah, we record before that. So here's the deal. Every once in a while, some of our listeners will send us something to try on Taste Buds. And in this episode, we actually have listener-sponsored Taste Buds segment. So let's go over and do that.
Taste Buds. Taste Buds. Two incredible stuff. Taste Buds. Two incredible stuff. Taste Buds. They're just a bunch of. I wonder if we have any listeners who are professional singers that could re-record that.
No. We have our jingle here. We good.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I do want to take a second and give a shout out to the person who sent this to us, and his name is Joshua. Get this. Handwritten letter. Yeah. Yeah, it took time to handwrite us a letter. So I'm just going to talk about some of this. The main thing is we're going to talk about the stuff that he sent us, and he appreciates the banter. And he said he thought he would list 5 of his favorite things from the podcast.
If any of them say when Tony's not talking, I am all for him.
Unfortunately, that's not one of them. Okay.
Dang it.
Number 5, the 5-minute initiative. He said, I have a small amount of time for game reviews, and you allow me to listen 3 game reviews in the same time most do 1. That was our original concept. So I'm glad to see that people catch on to that. It does allow us to throw a lot of games into a small space. We just hope that we do them justice by doing them only 5 minutes. So he sent us stuff for Taste Buds. His number 4 is actually Taste Buds. I love the addition to the podcast. I enjoy food, and hearing your reactions makes me smile. I enjoy the box of goodies. I heard you recently say that you was wishing there was a lemonade with less lemon. While shopping, I found these at Aldi. So with that in mind, he sent us a sparkling frost sugar-free lemonade.
Oh, man, I was just at Aldi's today. Mm-hmm. So, okay.
Let's crack this open and give this a shot real quick.
All right.
And because it's going to go with the other snacks.
Ooh, still got a good lemon smell to it. I like that.
It does. I'll tell you, if this has let's go. Here we go.
I love lemonade.
Okay, that's good. It's tart. Yeah. Has the sweetness,
like
but
that.
No calories. Yep. Oh, 5 calories. 5 calories in one bottle. I can handle man, that's good.
That's 0 sugar too. Whew. Man. Okay, I'll start looking for these at the old, because I, before we recorded, I finished up mowing, so I'm a little parched still. This thing's going to be gone in no time. Lemonade is one of those drinks, if it's not too sweet. I mean, I'm telling you, it's not a thirst quencher, but you can just drink a lot of it.
Oh, yeah. My thing is when it's too tart. Mm-hmm. And then I'm like, the whole time.
That's good. Oh, that is good right there. I like that.
All right, number 3 of his favorite things: screening, streaming, and steaming. That's cool because that's
cool.
Not a very popular
one of
episode,
our favorites.
But he said, "I love movies, and it's a fun way to look at the summer movies. I always enjoy these episodes. I'll tell you, that's always a fun one to do. Have Dan and Chris on. And have you looked at the stats?
No, I have not. How bad is it,
dude? You took If, right?
No, I did not take If.
What was your first
I took
pick?
the Fall Guy, which did good.
Yeah.
Then I did Twisters and Borderlands. If was Chris, which got 93, and Furiosa. Ooh, that hurt. Your Planet of the Apes and, well, Garfield. Garfield's doing real well worldwide, but guess what? We are U.S. box office here.
Yeah. So Dan's last pick was Bad Boys, which I thought, no, that actually did good. That had a good opening weekend. Opened at 56 million.
That surprises me. I mean, that's right there with Furiosa, which has been out for a while.
And it did horrible. It was supposed to open to 40 to 50 and opened at like 28. It's already being pulled from theaters.
Oh, yeah.
I cannot wait to get at the end of the year to get all these guys back on. It's insane what's been going on. All right. So anyway, moving on. So thank you for, we love doing the movie episodes. All right. Number 2, the Squirrely Awards. How can I not enjoy this episode? And I'm glad you have all these great guests. Yes, we have a lot of great guests to come on and talk about all the different categories. I said it always makes me laugh. We have the guest on, so it's less work for us. Well, actually, that's not true, because as the person who has to put all this together, it takes a while to edit that bad boy.
Mm-hmm.
And his number 1 overall every episode. No joke, this is my favorite board game podcast. I enjoy the intro, outro, and everything in between. I appreciate the time, financial investment, and dedication you have. I appreciate the honesty in your reviews and the humor which is infused in every episode. Also, I get you guys to my pockets, as Tony says, and have made several enjoyable game purchases thanks to the reviews. I hope to meet you guys sometime in person, but this will do for now. Keep rolling dice, taking names. Joshua, thank you so much. And he put in a dad joke, and that will be our outro. So if you want to hear our outro dad joke, we'll have that at the very end. All right, but he did send us 2 other things. He's actually sent us 3 other things. He sent us the all-dressed potato chips, but we've had those before. We've checked those out.
Those are good.
But he also sent us potato snacks. Now, do you remember the potato snacks we used to get as a kid that was in a bluish can with a pop top?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I love
absolutely.
those things.
Potato sticks. Yeah, I love those things.
So
is that what we're going for now?
Let's go for the potato sticks. I know what these are going to taste like, but these are good.
Oh yeah, these are good. These are good.
I love salt. Oh, wait a minute.
Woo!
Hash brown style. Ooh, that has a good... It does kind of taste like hash browns. That's
I
different.
was not expecting it. I was not expecting that.
Oh, this is
I don't get to see. See, Marty gave me these in a clear plastic Ziploc bag, and so I have no idea what I'm getting into here, which is always fun. So I was expecting. I remember these for having a bland taste to them, a very bland taste, but they were good. You know, I liked them. This was. Oh man, this is solid right here. Who makes these? Who makes these?
That's a German name. Douche.
Did he get these at Aldi's? Show me the label. Man, these are good. I'm gonna have to look for these at Aldi's.
Yeah.
God.
Holy. Yeah. So they're called hash brown style, but they literally taste like hash brown potato snacks.
Ooh. Spell that for me real quick. We're going to do it so our listeners can know what to look for here.
DEUTSCHE is the first word.
Mm-hmm.
KUCHE. Authentic German food.
KUCHE. Yep, Aldi's. Boom! There it is.
I don't know where you're going.
Well, that makes sense. Again, I was just there. You can pick some of this stuff up, definitely off of Amazon. Amazon disappointed me. I ordered a security camera from my mother-in-law, and it said it'll be there by 7 to 11 in the morning the next day. 4 days later, it still had not arrived. Sorry, it's late. I'm like, dang, guys.
Sad.
It's very sad. So what's the next one we got?
The last one, you don't know what it is. So I want you to try it and see if you can guess what it is. It's a puff.
Okay.
It's not weird or odd tasting.
Okay.
So I haven't tried these yet either. So I'm going to try one with you. Okay. Because I know what the flavor it is, I get it.
Oh man, what is that? I'm kind of sort of...
It's kind of addicted. It's going to make me addicted to this too.
You're going to love these things.
By the same company, by the way. Peanut puffs.
What peanut puffs. That's
crunchy corn snacks with freshly ground peanuts.
There they are, right there. You can get 2 of them for $27 on Amazon. You can get the potato sticks hash brown style. For $28, you can get, I forget how many, pack of 3. So there you go. So, yeah, you know what I like about these? It's not a kick you in the head peanut flavor. You know?
Very subtle.
Very subtle. Both of these are good. Josh.
These are good.
Dude.
I'm a fan of this brand now.
Mm-hmm. You're going to have to go to Aldi's, man. Oh, there's the potato sticks that have herbs on them. Various herb flavors. So, like, anybody really cares about this. But, oh, man. Okay, we're just going to sit here and y'all going to hear us chomp on our mics.
Y'all going to hear crunching and potato rattling the entire episode.
Man.
Joshua, thank you so much. These are really good. And for anybody else who would like to send us stuff to try, we'll try pretty much about anything. If you like to send us something, that's true. We ate bugs, so it can't get much worse than, I don't want to even say that. We ate durian.
Oh, that was nasty. But I survived that.
You did. I did not do a good job on that one.
I ate ghost pepper jelly beans. Didn't have any issue with that.
Nope. So if you have something that's maybe unique to your area or just want something for us to try, send us an email at rolldicetechnames@gmail.com. Or maybe we can coordinate, have something sent to us. Or you can find us on our Discord channel, which is how Joshua got in touch with me. And we can coordinate something there. But we'd love to try something that you send us on one of our future episodes of Taste Buds. Did y'all see Miniature Market's 20th anniversary sale? That was insane. Like every couple days they were dropping these big releases and big sales. Like somebody pointed out to me as soon as it went live, Prime Minister, one of my favorite games from 2023, for only $45, which was just an incredible deal. And how did I find out about it, Tony? Well, that's because I'm subscribed to the newsletter. And I got the newsletter. It's like, hey, it's been 20 years. Why don't you guys go check out some sales? And so we did. And I also want to give a big shout out to Miniature Market, who is our sponsor and sent us a little mystery gift bag, Tony, with a couple games in it, including a copy of War of the Ring, the card game, which I'm still jonesing to play. So I still love to play that sometimes. So a big thank you to them for sending that. That meant a lot. But remember, they always have their backroom deals that run from Tuesday to Friday, and typically they have some sort of theme that goes along with them. You can either go to their site and every day and check, or like I said, just the newsletter and see what happens there. And don't forget, head over to our website, rolldicetechnames.com, click our affiliate link, helps us out, lets them know that you went there because you heard this. Again, this is over at miniaturemarket.com. Tony, you were out of town when we got a chance to play the upcoming game called Skyrise. And I was going to talk about it because I got to play it a few times. I like this game so much. I said, set it up, we're going to play it again. I mean, I'm just starting right off the bat. I really enjoyed this game. But here's what I want. So you haven't played this game, so you're going to play the role of the audience that's listening right now, except you can live react to this review. Meaning if I say something and it's like, I have no clue what you're talking about, or you have questions that need some sort of clarification, you can actually do that in real time and play the role of the listener.
So kind of like I do when you're teaching a game.
Yeah, but now I'm going to be reviewing the game and tell you what I think about it, and then you can ask a question. So,
and who's this by? Published by?
This is Skyrise, published by Roxley, designer Gavin Brown, Sebastian Buchan, and Adam Weiss. Now, this is a brand new game inspired by Sebastian Buchan's 2008 Spiel des Jahres recommended game, Metropolis. The theme of this game is, the mayor has listed some of humanity's greatest visionaries to build Skyrise, a magnificent city in the sky dedicated to art, science, and beauty. But only one artisan can be remembered as the greatest. So this plays 2 to 4 players, 30 to 90 minutes. We probably figure this is probably 15 to 20 minutes per player. Several things I like about this: area majority, auction bidding, which everybody really loved, and there's some in-game bonuses, which I'll talk about too. So let me see if I can paint a picture for you, okay? There's a game board that's set up in the middle of the table. And on this board, you're going to be putting together these islands that's going to be used during the course of the game. There's always a central island The central island has 4 colored spaces to it, and attached to each side of that central island will be these larger islands with these neighborhoods that have different colored neighborhoods. Depending on the number of players is the number of islands that you're going to set up. All right, you with me so far?
Oh, I have to participate now. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah,
you got a board. You got a board that's got a bunch of islands on it, which I got a feeling is going to be about majority.
First thing I didn't understand is there is a multi-panel fold-out board you put on the table and then build the islands on top of it. We were unsure why that board was there. It does have a scoring track around it and another spot for some tokens, but we were really kind of confused why you included this multi-panel board for this when you didn't really need it. So anyway, oh, by the way, this was a Kickstarter, and sometime go look at the Kickstarter version of this, which has super immaculate, well-designed plastic buildings and stuff. I mean, it looks really cool on the table. This is the retail version where the buildings that you have are just wooden pieces. There's 3 different sizes of buildings. There's tall buildings, medium buildings, and then there's short buildings and wonders. You're going to get buildings of each type, 3 tall buildings, 4 short, and 5 medium. Now, what's unique, Tony, is you're going to be placing these onto the board for area majority, but these pieces are also used for bidding because on the bottom of the building is a number. And at the beginning of the game, you take your pieces and have all your buildings lined up numerically so that everybody can see the numbers from the highest to the lowest and no numbers duplicated. So I might have 64, you may have 66, Mark may have 65. So there won't be ever any ties when it comes to the bidding.
Okay.
So you got a player board in front of you and you've got a tracker for the 4 different colors of neighborhoods that are also on the board. Those trackers are going to determine what buildings are worth at the end of the game. Some buildings on certain neighborhoods will be worth more to you than on other neighborhoods. And the last thing you do in setting up the game is you're going to put out a little token on each neighborhood that's on the board. This is done randomly. They have a bag, you pull out, you place a little round disc on each neighborhood. Most of those are called neighborhood discs, which represent one of the 4 colors of the neighborhood. So you could have a green disc on a brown neighborhood just randomly coming out. There's something called a commission disc and a patron disc, and I'll talk about those later. But most of those are neighborhood discs. So now that the board is all set up, you actually start playing the game. So if I'm first player, I'm going to take one of my buildings and I'm going to put it in the neighborhood I'm interested in. Placement rules are very simple. You must start out in the central area or place your building beside an existing building on the board.
Sounds like a game we played previously. I forget what the name of it is already, but yep, I'm with you.
Let's say I put a building out. It's a medium building. And it's maybe like 35, and I put it on a neighborhood. If you're next, you have the option to go over and outbid that building. It's like, I think I might want that neighborhood that's next to it because you're going to take one of your buildings that's higher than mine in value and stick it adjacent to the building that I just placed.
Whoa, you confused me.
See, this is why we're doing this.
I mean, I'll admit, if I was actually listening to, I would have skipped past the setup, but and gone straight to this. But that's just me, because I really don't care. I don't have the board or anything in front of me, so it's not going to make a lot of sense to me. So anyway,
the people in the car listen to this right now.
I know. So we need to make note in our future reviews. Just don't go over setup. Just say, here's the board. Here we go. All right.
I'm trying to get a mental picture of what the board looks like, though.
And I think that's the problem for me. I'm not very good at this mental drawing. Other people are. So we need to continue to do it. So Anyway, so wait a minute. All right. So you put something on a board somewhere that has some basic rules on where you could place it. And then, but it doesn't stay there because someone can come in and outbid you.
Correct.
Okay. I got it. Let's go.
The space that they're bidding on is going to be adjacent to where you placed your building. You're not bidding on the same space. The rules for bidding is you must be at a higher value than the number just placed, and it must be adjacent to the building placed. So I go, let's say you go. Bert over here says, well, you know what? The building that's adjacent to the one Tony just had, I kind of have interest in that one. I'm going to take one of my higher value buildings and put it there. He's done that. Mark says,
can I go back and put it next to yours, the very first person?
Stop. Mark goes, not interested, pass. It comes back to me. I can now outbid Bert if I want and go adjacent to his building that he last placed. But I'm going to pass. And then it comes to you and you go, you know what? Nope, I want that next spot that's beside Bert where he just placed it. I'm going to take a higher building than what he placed, put it on this neighborhood. Bert, what do you want to do? Bert says, I pass. And you go, fantastic. That building you just placed, you flip over, put the number face down, leave it in the neighborhood where you placed it. Everybody else takes the buildings they use for the bids and takes them back to their player area. They're pulled off the board because now they can be used in future for bidding again. But you just lost a building that could be used for bidding.
I understand.
Okay. The neighborhood that you placed your building has one of those little discs I talk about at the setup. You're going to pick up that disc and you're going to put it on your player board. If it's one of the 4 neighborhood colored discs, you have 4 rows on your board that track the values of buildings in those neighborhood. They all start out at a base value of 2. Let's say you place in a brown neighborhood but pick up a yellow disc. You're going to take the yellow disc, put it on the leftmost open spot on your board. And let's say you hadn't placed one yet. The value of yellow buildings in yellow neighborhoods are now worth 3 to you. But guess what? You just placed a building in a brown neighborhood. You're going, man, maybe I should try to get a brown disc to increase the value of the brown neighborhoods. So we start bidding again. And the same process continues over and over again, with the first placement being you must place beside a building that's already on the board or in the center island. Now, once those 4 spots in the center island are taken up, then you can only start bidding beside an existing building. Play will continue until somebody has placed all their buildings, which ends era number 1. There's only 2 eras in the game. And then what you're going to do is you're going to score. At the end of era 1, say it's a 3-player game. There's a central building and 3 islands. We're going to evaluate each island. Whoever has the most tall buildings on an island, 5 points. Oh, but what about there's a tie between tall buildings? Well, if there's a tie between 2 people, between those 2, whoever has the most medium-sized buildings, 5 points. Well, what about if they're still tied? Oh, whoever has the most small buildings, 5 points. What if you're still tied? Both of you get 5 points. So the area majority is going to based on who has the most tall buildings in a spot, then medium, then small.
So wait a minute, tall buildings have higher values.
That's correct. So when you use your tall building, you've also just used one of your higher value bids.
Mm-hmm. You're sitting here trying to manipulate the areas with the size of the buildings while forcing other people to possibly expend or spend theirs to maybe later position you to have majority in a different area.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's play.
Now, there's also...
Oh, crap. There's more rules?
Hold on. No, there's not more rules. But also at the beginning of the game, panorama cards are put out, and those are end era scoring cards. One of them may be, hey, you're going to get points, maybe 2 points for each neighborhood that has a little windmill on the board. Or points if you have 3 of your buildings around a lake. So over the course of the round, we are looking at those panorama cards, and we know they're going to score. So we're also trying to strategically bid and take those spots, which can generate those points. That ends the end of era 1 scoring. At the beginning of the game, each of us were dealt 3 wonder cards. During the second era, we're going to unlock more buildings that we had off to the side, including our wonder. Our wonder is a special building which will give us a special ability. You're going to pick one of those 3 cards and you're going to keep it in front of you, and everybody's going to get to see it. You play the second era just like you do the first. The only one caveat is now you can place a wonder. Mm-hmm. Once bidding is start and you place a wonder, that will end bidding immediately. Stops. Whoever places the wonder, that just stops the bidding. You take your wonder card. It has a special ability on it. Like my second game that we played, mine was get 3 points for every tall building in the island where your wonder was built. So guess what? Okay. There was one island where people were building tall buildings all over the place. Popped a wonder, 12 points instantly.
Done. Like that.
Yep. So everybody has that capability to do that at that point. Now, I talked about the patron disc. That's another one of those discs that when you place a building in a neighborhood and if you win it, you take the patron disc, A, B, C, or D. Randomly, there were patron tokens put out at the beginning of the game in front of 4 different patrons, A, B, C, and D, of different values, from 3 up to 8 points. If I take a patron token that has C on it, I put it on my board. At that point, I can pick up and peek at what the value of the C patron token is. So then I know what the C's are worth. Bert may take A. He can peek at A and see what A's are worth. And if you find the one that's worth 8, well, guess what? You're going to try to claim the neighborhoods that have that particular patron token on it at that point. Now, this is the cool part too. As you claim neighborhood colored tokens and you start increasing the value of your buildings, they start at base 2, then it goes to 3, 4, 6. So that every building at the end of the game is going to be worth 6 points in that particular neighborhood, but then it drops to 4. And you go, well, that's dumb. Why would I ever want to claim the next neighborhood token and drop it to 4? Because after that, for every colored token that you claim and you can't put it in a row, it's worth 10 points at the end of the game. So yes, you sacrifice the value of some of the buildings you've placed in those neighborhoods, but now you can generate 10 points per token that you claim further on. So as the game starts playing, you start strategically knowing, I want that neighborhood. I've got to get that neighborhood. I want to bid to take that neighborhood sort of deal. You can look at what other people are doing, try to block them from taking that neighborhood. But taking the neighborhoods you want also might expend your higher cost buildings, decreasing how much you can bid on in later rounds. It is so freaking clever how the things that you're placing is also what you're using to bid, and once placed, they're gone. You can't use them anymore. And also, rounds are nothing. It's like literally place a building, pass. Okay, it's your turn.
Pass, done.
I couldn't stop thinking about this game and just how clever it was. And then the fact that, let's say we go a long line of bidding, that means we've placed a lot of buildings out on the board and created a chain far away from like the central island. Well, whoever claims that spot, everybody else is going to take their buildings off the board. But now somebody can start and try to claim a neighborhood way out on the end of an island now because there's a building that exists there that was just won last round. And this is cool too. If there's no place to place a building anymore, let's say somebody placed a building and there's no adjacent spots available, you just automatically win. So you can strategically try to bid into a situation to where if you win, you might create a spot where only one building can go with there's no open adjacent spots, and you start your bid in that spot and you just automatically claim it because nobody else can build a building beside you. Those little mind games, little tricks are going on as we play the game, which just made it so good for me. I understand why this game was remade, and this feels just like a classic game from like the mid 2000s. That's just a solid bidding game with not a lot of extra frills, but what you do is very strategic in how you play it.
What'd the others think of it?
Loved it. Everybody really got a kick out of it. The setup is really easy. The variability is in those panorama scorings. Oh, I didn't mention. So once all the buildings, once somebody's placed all their buildings, you're going to finish the round, and then you're going to score. You're going to score just like you did in Era 1. So you're going to look at island control. But when you get to the structures, you're going to look at, okay, my buildings on yellow neighborhoods are worth, let's see, because of the tokens I claimed, they're worth 4. Count up all the neighborhoods where you have yellow buildings, 4 times that. And you're going to evaluate each neighborhood, green, white, brown, which will add to your total points. Whoever has the most points wins.
Imagine that. Really? Whoever has the most points wins. You should have started with that. Would have never kept me in suspense.
There's other little things too. The first person to build all their buildings gets a bonus 10 points. The second person gets a bonus 4 points. There's something called a commission token where if you actually hadn't claimed that one when placing a neighborhood, you get 1 point for each patron token and extra neighborhood token that you place that are worth 10 points. So there's a lot of little scoring things going on, but the main scoring I talked about. Oh, there's also secret objective cards, which I like too.
Well, of course there's
secret objectives cards. Also give you a goal. Anytime there's a game that gives you a secret objective at the beginning of the game, it immediately starts you out with, okay, I know I want to work towards this, which I really like. As opposed to just blindly open. It's like, what's my strategy going to be? You got a starting point. And you're dealt those 3 wonders at the beginning. So you know in the second round which of those wonders you may want to keep. So you might want to build towards that too. Like when I knew one of my wonders was, 3 points for every large building in an island, then I started, like Bert and Mark were fighting over this island with large buildings. So I started dropping my large ones in there too, to where I just scored a ton of points. Bert had one wonder that said, you get X amount of points with the 2 or 3 for every building they hadn't built yet. So very early in the second round, the second era, he dropped his wonder really fast before he built his buildings and scored a ton of points.
Okay.
I like it. Skyrise, Roxley Games.
It's a new arrival and it is in stock.
How much is it?
$46.
Okay.
Cool looking artwork.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice wooden pieces and everything like that. Again, the Kickstarter's really blinged out with,
of course it
nice
is.
printed buildings and everything like that. But honestly, for that price, it's a good, solid area placement bidding game, which I really like. So, all right. So evaluate my review. How did I do? Did you follow everything? How could I improve?
I'm not going to be mean, of course, because you know how I do reviews. So it's not fair for me to judge you, because when I listen to reviews, I jump straight to the end and I want to hear, why did you like it? What was unique about it compared to everything else that is out there? Because I'm going to be honest with you, and I know we've heard this on the show often, some people need to hear how it's played. All I need to know is there's a unique bidding style, something we haven't seen. How does it force players to make strategic decisions? I heard that. So you did that for me. I appreciate you keying in on the very pros of the game that makes it why you like it. Okay? So you did that. You hit those. So yeah, I fast forward till I got to Marty's final thoughts.
Saved a lot of time. That's fair.
And I mean, that's just how, but you did that. And that's what I wanted to hear. What was it that would make you put this on the table that I would get it? You hit, okay, I know he likes, he's not a big fan of area majority. I'm not.
What? Over the years, I've grown to like it.
Okay.
I have gone from hating, what's that game I used to hate?
You're talking about Small World?
Small World. I went from hating any game like Small World to slowly playing more of these style of games where, area majority, area control is kind of fun.
There's a difference when area majority takes forever to get.
Mm-hmm.
And here, it's the auction. That's the highlight of this game.
True.
It's forcing the people.
Auction is the best part of the game.
And that's what I picked out of your discussion of this game. So, I mean, great production. It's a Roxley game. All right. Very good then. It's a remake. You didn't play the original, so then you can't really compare the two. So I didn't hear that in your review, which is fine. I never played the original, so I wasn't listening for that. I was listening for, what do I enjoy? I don't like area majority, but it doesn't sound like it is the main kicker here to help drive it. There's secret objectives. I like the fact that you're coming back. Your pieces are coming back to you if you lose the auction. I like that.
Yep.
So, yeah.
That's good. All right.
That's what I keyed in on.
Awesome. So that is Skyrise from Roxley Games, out now. So the big release at Gen Con this year for Portal Games is a game called AI Space Puzzle. Now here's the thing, y'all. A couple years ago, I was a big fan of the Turing Machine when it came out. It was a deduction game, math deduction game, fan. Cryptid from years ago, another deduction game, fan. But those were like head-to-head type games. This is a deduction game, but it's cooperative. So this game has 40 scenarios in it, and you're trying to work together to complete scenarios. And the idea is that AI out there has fed you some information, but it's not complete information. Each round, based on what's been given to you, you're trying to complete a scenario. Now, some attractive things about this is, one, this plays up to 5 players. This game plays in 20 minutes. That means you can knock out several scenarios in an hour if you want. And get this, only $29. So for only $29, you get 40 scenarios, fun cooperative game for up to 5 players. I've read through the rule book. I think this is going to be really cool. Tony, I can't wait for us to get a copy. Sit there at Qdoba, maybe before Mark gets there, me, you, and Bert pull out the next scenario and try to knock it out and see if we can solve it real quick. So I'm a big deduction game fan, or puzzle type game. And I think doing something like this with each other cooperatively, I think it's going to be really cool.
I'm really looking forward to trying this out at Gen Con.
Mm-hmm.
And you, me, and Chevy give this thing I think this will be hilarious.
And maybe Ben would join us. Get like 4 players out there.
That'd be fun.
Or, hey, well, you can always demo the game. He'll probably need some help doing that. So to find out more, head over to shopportalgames.com. He has it on pre-order right now. Again, it's only $29. Fantastic deal. Portal Games' big Gen Con game called AI Space Puzzle.
5-minute initiative begins in 3, 2, 1.
Here we go. We got 5 minutes to talk about something that would be near and dear to our hearts. That is Squirrels, the card game, designed by Joe Ward and Christine Ward. Oh, a family company. Look at this coming through. Published by Frenzy Games. No, that's not Frenzy. There's a D in that. So, Marty, This is a game. Friends. Z-Y.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, anyway. So basically this is a card shedding game where it's fast, fun, and easy to learn card game straight from BGG. And it was a fast, fun, and easy to learn card game for us to play. It's got cards that you're similar to that have special like wild, push, skip, you'll know these games. You'll know these cards from Uno. But the whole idea is you have 4 piles of squirrel nuts in front of you. Did that come out right?
Squirrel nuts. Yeah, each pile has 3 cards, and when you set up the game, you get to see the top card of each pile.
Mm-hmm. So there's some nuts there.
And then you have 8 cards in your hand. So 12 cards on the table in front of you, 8 cards in your hand to start the game.
And there's some pretty squirrels that are out there. But the whole thing is about playing cards to the center of the table, what you are going to do. And the object is to make sure that you play cards that are a value lower than what is in front of you in the center.
Or equal to whatever's in the middle of the table, yes.
Okay, less than or equal to. Let's use some math operations here.
Yeah, less than or equal to. There you go.
But if you don't, what happens, Marty?
Well, then you got to take all those cards in the middle of the table, kind of like, you don't want like Uno. You don't want all that crap. But here's the thing. When you're playing, if you have multiple of the same number that happens to be equal to or less than what's in the middle of the table, you can shed all those cards at once. And if at any point in the middle of the table where you have 4 of the same number on top of the discard pile, that entire pile is just discarded from the game and you start all over again with a brand new pile.
And then you get to take another turn.
That's right. And that's the beauty of that. So if you can match 4 of a kind on top, clear those cards, and you get to get rid of another card. Just trying to get rid of cards as fast as you can. But Tony, there are a couple special cards in there, including push, wild, and skip.
Now, skip, you get to skip somebody. Very similar. Everybody knows what a skip will do. Push, you're going to push that pile onto somebody. That is the non-friendly card out there. That's the one that's going to create some. That's mean. That you don't want to do that. So let's say someone's out there and they played, 10s, which is the highest number out there, and then people are slowly working it down. You got to be thinking somebody could be pushing that big pile of cards over to me. And then, of course, wild's wild, like a squirrel.
Wild's not like a squirrel because there is a squirrel.
Oh, that's right. There is a squirrel card.
Wild is a wild card that can be any number when you put it down on the table. But there's also actual squirrel cards, pictures of squirrels, different squirrels. And even though it's different art, they all do the same thing. When you play a squirrel card, you immediately clear what's in the middle of the table and you get to go again. So in the games that we played, I actually collected a lot of squirrels at one time and was able to play and do multiple turns. Now, it's like, well, you guys talked about those piles in front of you. Well, that's correct. You have 4 face-up cards that you can use at any time. If I use one of the face-up cards that's on one of those piles, I play that and then take the card that's beneath it into my hand, but then the last one left on the table is blind. Nobody can look at that, and at some point in time, I'm going to have to play that card to the pile in the middle of the table, and I don't know what it could be. Will it be higher than what's on the table? If it's so, guess what? Bad luck. I'm taking everything. Or it might work out to maybe it's a squirrel and I get to clear and go again.
The big thing is, if it's a blind squirrel, it's going to find a nut.
That's right. Hey, that's good. What if it was done that way on purpose?
It might have been. It would clear the table. Quick game. I mean, it can go a while. I mean, according to, on the box, 15 to 45 minutes. Depends on how the cards are being. But I'm not thinking it's going to last more than,
How many
30
players?
minutes. It can't go up to 8.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. When you got 8 people,
Yeah.
I mean, so that means you're pushing a lot of cards around. You know how some of those Uno games you can get like really mean? I'm almost out. No, you're not. You're going to take all those sort of deals. So it's the same sort of deal. But I mean, when they reached out to us and they said, "Oh, come on, because look at our logo. We got to play the squirrel card game." So we tried it out, and it is like literally if you have people that play Uno and get that, this has a little bit more to it because of those cards that are in the middle. And the idea of trying to get 4 of a kind in order to clear the middle pile. So it's got a little bit more meat to it. It's easy to pick up from those who understand something like Uno.
Yeah. So if your family, you have young ones in your family, They understand the concepts of Uno. They're going to get this. A little more strategy than Uno. Personally, I think so, because you're trying to match, you're trying to hold on certain cards and trying to think, okay, how am I going to play these to be able to shed quickly? So great game. Be sure to head over to their website, frenzygames.com for more information. That is FRIENDZY games.com. Friendsgames.com. So that is Squirrels the card game from, oh good gosh, Frenzy Games.
How do you spell that?
Not correctly half the time.
5-minute initiative is complete.
You know her, you love her. Vanessa is back for another review of a board game that I thought she might be very interested in, and that is the new game Donut Shop from 25th Century Games.
So all of our things are unrehearsed, so I was not prepared for you to say, you know her, you love her.
You know her, you love her.
Let me change that.
Uh-huh.
I love donuts. I went straight to it, Marty. No fooling around.
This is why I knew that this game, designed by Jeffrey Alliers, plays 2 to 4 players, 20 to 40 minutes, was like right up your alley. It's
right
short,
up my alley.
Easy to play, and a really good theme. But you said, Marty.
And a beautiful box, too.
It is. We can't.
You lured me with a picture of donuts.
Well, here's the thing. You lured me into doing this review because you said, wait a minute, we can't do the review.
Let me say it.
Yeah, go for it.
Unless we get to eat donuts.
So, y'all, guess what? For the
Guess what?
For the first time ever, we're going to combine taste buds and a game review in one segment. So hit the jingle.
Taste buds. Taste buds. Taste buds. Two incredible stuff. Taste buds. Two incredible stuff. Taste buds. They're just a bunch of.
All right. So Vanessa, we're gonna intermingle, trying out some donuts and talking about the game. So why don't you introduce the donuts for us that you purchased?
Let me introduce the donuts. Many of you, well, first of all, I know there is a big debate between Dunkin' and Crispy.
Oh, there is, but there's only one answer to that's right.
For me, the correct answer is donuts are delicious.
It doesn't matter where they come from.
Correct. And right now, I have both apps, so we earn some free donuts. But all right. So I have been seeing that Dolly Parton has a partnership with Krispy Kreme for Dolly Parton donuts. So I went and got us some donuts today, and the flavors are banana pudding, peachy keen cobbler, chocolate cream pie. They were out of the Dolly Dazzler, which is a glazed with strawberry frosting and a cute little butterfly on it.
I do like a strawberry frosting.
I know. So we'll have to do it again. We'll have to do something else.
So what we're going to do is we're going to try one of these real quick, talk about it, and then dive right into the game. So what do you want to try first?
Banana pudding.
Banana pudding. I'm handing you a fork. I myself have a fork.
Marty has a fourth of a banana pudding.
So talk to us, what's in this? So it's
Banana cream. So it is one of the filled donuts. So I think it's a glazed donut filled with banana cream. I'm not quite sure what the frosting is.
Okay.
Besides what looks to be
So you're getting a fork
delicious.
full, then we're going to try this out.
Okay. You might have got more banana cream than I did.
You
All
ready?
right, here we go.
Oh my goodness. The filling tastes like banana pudding.
Okay. So here's the thing. You got all the banana pudding. So they could have been filled a little more.
You're right.
So I think I got a little bit here. You, if you get this donut, you must get the cream.
Oh my
that's
goodness.
what makes it the banana pudding.
There's some sort of crumble on top. Oh,
It's the vanilla wafers.
Yeah.
But I think the frosting is just vanilla that is colored yellow.
Got it.
I'm thinking that's what it is.
That's good.
And little crazy tidbit. I love bananas, but I don't like them when they turn brown. So growing up, I did not eat banana pudding. So I like banana pudding without bananas. This is delicious.
Right up your alley. All right, so let's talk about this game, Donut Shop.
Donut Shop. First of all, the box was beautiful. It is beautiful, frosted, sprinkled, beautiful donuts.
It looks. I like the design. It's a donut shop that was established in 1939. To me, the colors of the greenish kind of look like Krispy Kreme. Mm-hmm. If you look at it, it's kind of like. Oh, it is kind of Krispy Kreme. It's muted Krispy Kreme colors, the rust and the green.
All donuts are delicious.
Okay. Anyway, so number one, right off the bat, they have this nice little thing that you build up, which is the donut rack for displaying the tiles, because this is a tile laying game.
Yep.
These are square tiles that are going to have 4 donuts on each tile. And on your turn, you're going to take the one tile that's in your hand and lay it on the table. And you're going to be building out a whole big donut display on the table. But what you want to try to do is match donuts on your tile with others that are already on the table. Because when you do, you're going to score. Here's what you do. You're going to score 5 cents for each donut of the type that you pick on the donut tile, plus every donut of the same type in the display case that is orthogonally connected to that tile in a group. So the idea is you're trying to connect a lot of the same types of donuts together, 5 cents per, collect your money.
How many players? Was it 2 to 4?
2 to 4.
2 to 4. So we, of course, played with 2. You start out by putting cards on the table. You have some set out, and the game will tell you how many. Mm-hmm. Then you had your little area where the tiles were set out.
A little court
and then you
display.
Have cards.
Yeah, the order cards.
Yes.
I'll talk about those in a second. Yep.
Oh, okay. I like to talk about all the components first, what you have, what you get when you start, and then how you accumulate from that point on.
One tile, one order card, and then a box that you're going to use for packing 6. And
nope, the first was 4.
First was 4. You're right.
So you have different size tiles, and that is a donut box, and it shows if you're going to pack 4, 6,
8, a dozen.
Or a dozen. Yep. We only packed. No, I think we each did 1 6.
Yeah. So how does that work? At the end of your turn, you start with one card, and you're going to place the tile, score. If you can fill a box with order cards, you can. Starting out, you won't have enough cards. But then at the very end, you either draw one of the face-up donut tiles from the rack, one of the 2, and a face-down order card, or pick one of the 2 face-up order cards and a face-down donut tile.
Yep. So you know one you're getting, you don't know the other that you're getting. And when you box your donut, it doesn't have to be on the tile that you played. It can be from any of the tiles on the table. And the tiles consist of different flavor of donuts.
Right. Some with sprinkles, some without. And I'll explain why that matters in a minute, because the goal is you're going to pack up an order. These cards are like orders coming in for different donuts. So these order cards have a type of donut on them. Of course, the game, you're going to be collecting those, and eventually you're going to try to box them up.
And each tile has 4 donuts. I don't know if we said that already.
Yeah, each tile that you place has 4 donuts. The first box that you're probably going to fill is the 4 donut box. So you're going to choose a donut box size that you want. It could be any size that you want. And you're going to discard the order cards from your hand to match each donut type you wish to box. Then you're going to place the donut box over those unboxed donuts in the display. So if I have, say, 2 banana and 2 blue, a 2x2, and I have each of those 2 cards in my hand, discard those 4 cards, put a box over top of it. Now, that box has a certain amount that will score, a certain amount of money. The bigger boxes will score more. But once you cover those up, those can no longer be scored for the tile placement part of the scoring, because now they're covered up.
Correct. And I think we probably said it, but I just want to make it clear, your box does not determine which donuts you cover. Your cards determine which donuts you cover. That's why that comes into play with maybe you can see a card that you want to be able to fulfill either for what you need or however many of what you need.
And you might try to place the tiles such that you're going to try to build that order to fulfill.
Yes.
And some of the scoring cards have if you get a sprinkled donut in this box, you're going to get a little bit more money. Or sometimes they order coffee.
I was just about to say,
go for it.
And then take a little sip. No, I won't slurp. But we do have coffee with our donuts. So some of the cards did have donuts and a coffee, and then that would score you more points.
So you can discard 2 of the cards your order cards that have coffee on them for 15 cents or discard 3 coffee cards for 25 cents. So coffee and donuts.
Coffee and donuts.
And then after that, you're going to draw back up and then it goes to the next person. And you're going to continue playing this until either all the donut tiles are gone from the rack or all the order cards are gone.
We didn't time it. We should have timed it, but it was right at like maybe 30?
At the most. It's like 10 minutes per player. But before we kind of get in our thoughts of the game, Vanessa, it's time for another donut.
Oh, time for another donut. Let's do the chocolate cream and then end with the peach cobbler.
So the chocolate cream looks like a regular glazed donut with chocolate and vanilla swirl on top.
You know what? I'm not sure if it's vanilla or it looks more like chocolate frosting rather than the chocolate glaze that they typically use.
Ready?
Ready.
The vanilla is a little bit different. It's sort of a cream.
Maybe it's just chocolate frosting and vanilla frosting.
Mm-hmm.
I should have looked that up. I think it's chocolate frosting and vanilla frosting. It's thicker than their glaze.
Yeah.
It's really good.
That's really cool.
And then there was like a chocolate crumble on top.
And by the way, these were fresh that Vanessa picked up tonight too, so they're nice and soft and everything.
Have to go out of our way for Krispy Kreme now.
I know. We had one that close by us that closed. I don't know how a Krispy Kreme closes, but it happened.
We got Dunkin' right beside us, so.
All right. So back to the game. So we kind of covered how the game plays. Play a card, lay a tile, score, try to fulfill orders. Obviously, over the course of the game, you're going to get a lot of order cards in your hand. There's no hand limit. So if you're trying to fulfill one of those big boxes, if you can get the donuts ordered right on the table, you might be able to cover the big box and score a lot of money because we're trying to make money. Whoever has the most money is going to win.
And the game came with money tokens.
Mm-hmm.
So we had little dollar bills, 50 cents, 25 cents, and on down.
It's a very straightforward, easy game to teach. This is definitely one of those that somebody who's never played this type of game before or hobby games could easily pick it up. You're literally just matching donuts and scoring.
I want to say this is one of those games where when people say, what do I play for my spouse to play who doesn't get into games yet? Or what do I play with neighbors or family? This is it. This is perfect for come over for coffee and donuts and then play that game. It's a perfect little theme. I like themes.
It is. And it's one of those things that's very approachable. It's not an odd theme. It's like, oh, this makes sense. We're trying to package and sell donuts.
Although we do like odd themes too. But yes.
Yeah, but I'm talking about for introducing other people. They were like that coffee game that we talked about that we played.
Oh, yeah.
Where you were the barista trying to fulfill orders.
Yeah.
It kind of has that same feel where you're trying to fulfill donut orders.
Yep. I really liked it. And I think we should play it with your family this weekend.
Oh, for Father's Day, which is coming up. Yeah, well, it's only 4 players, though, so.
I'll let you and your dad and your mom.
Here it is.
No,
Here
I'm
it is.
kidding.
And I'll take a nap.
I'll eat donuts. No, it's homemade ice cream this weekend.
Ooh. So
We digress.
we digress.
Back to it, Marty.
So let's just talk about, we'll wrap this up, and then we'll do our final donut. So
Let's do it.
Donut Shop, great entry-level game for a lot
Yes.
of people to play. It plays quick, sets up quick, it looks nice.
I'm sorry. Who made it?
25th Century Games
25th Century Games.
is the publisher, and Jeffrey Alliers is the designer.
I don't know if you'd call it compact, but you can play it in a small space. Like it's very playable. You don't need like a large table or anything.
And I may pronounce his last name wrong. It's maybe Allers, Allers. So I apologize if I pronounced that wrong. So just look that up. Allers. That's your designer.
Get it right before I have to do an intro.
You typically don't say the designer's name. You can say Donut
Yes,
Shop is
that's
easy
right,
to
that's
say.
Right. Sorry. That's when you used to have people on the show and interviewed them.
So there you go. Donut Shop, good introductory level game, light game, easy to teach. It's a great introduction to tile laying game, though, especially being able to place tiles. Try to make sets. Definitely good for kids.
Yeah, I really liked it. It's great for everybody. I think it's a good one. Mm-hmm. It's a good family game. And you said 8 and up, I think?
8 and
I
up.
don't know if it said that. 8 and up, 2 to 4 players.
Easily.
Yeah.
All right, so what's the last donut we got here?
Peachy Keen Cobbler.
This is the one I'm looking forward to.
Me too, but I want to make sure I get some of the filling. This is another one that's filled. So it's a filled donut with peach filling.
And what's on top?
I think it's just like
pie
a
crust
cobbler.
crumbles? Oh, like a cobbler crumbles?
Yeah, cobbler crumble. I'm cutting another piece.
Oh, it looks like this. It's a 2-layer thing.
Oh, gosh, it looks good.
I didn't really have a filling.
That's because I got it. This one has it. The
I'm not-
filling isn't evenly dispersed.
Because I'm not like getting a lot of peach at all.
Yeah, you need to take a bite of this one. I think overall the banana had the most wow. But that chocolate was really good too.
There's the peach.
It's not filled. It could be filled more.
It's only filled on the side.
I know. That's what happened with the banana too.
Well, that's disappointing, Krispy Kreme. All right, so your favorite. Which one's your favorite?
For a unique flavor, I would say banana. But for all the components and consistency, the chocolate. So now I got to go get us a strawberry.
It's banana hands down for me.
Is it?
Hands down. The peach filling in here, I don't think it's that great.
Let me try another bite of the banana.
So there you go. Taste Buds, Dolly Parton Donuts from Krispy Kreme, and Donut Shop from 25th Century Games.
Gametoppers LLC.com. Go over there for the incredible accessories that will help you play games better.
Oh, wait a minute. Is that true? Is that true? So if I buy a Game Toppers mat, are you saying that my chances of winning increase?
No, I did not say winning. I said it will help you play better.
Well, for me, better is winning more.
See, you're putting words in my mouth. I said it'll help you play better. First off, if you have Game Toppers, you won't be dropping pieces all over the floor. So that may help you keep things in front of you so you know how things are happening and keep things organizer because of the incredible side rail system that they have. Or maybe the modular cup holders. Stick a drink in there instead of on the table spilling that and covering the board with water, making it, making stuff unusable. Marking up cards. How does that make you play better? Because it just does. Trust me on this.
It just does.
It just does. I mean, come on. These toppers, military grade aluminum. So, I mean, they're not going to bend. They're not going to warp. I didn't say the mats, the toppers themselves.
If you used aluminum for the mats, that'd be kind of insane. Hard to roll.
You could roll dice on, but make a lot of noise.
Yeah, that's true. I'm sorry. I'm really screwing up this ad. Go ahead.
No, I can screw it up plenty on my own. Thank you very much. They don't slip. They don't slide off the table. Things don't go bump in the night when these things are set up.
You know what goes bump in the night is when I run my knee into one of those and it doesn't give. And that happened the other night when I went in the basement and the light went on and I hit the corner of it. That baby didn't slide at all. No, that ain't going anywhere.
No. Hey, that non-slip performance, yeah, it's not going anywhere. I mean, it's adhering without sticking. It's without marking your table. Okay, yeah, he's looking at me like, what's the adhering without sticking? Because you don't have to, when you pull it up, it doesn't make any noise. I mean, it just sits there.
It's a very high coefficient of friction.
But those mats aren't. When you're dealing out cards, those bad boys go sliding across the table. I'll tell you what, when I put the mats down and I was dealing out cards the other day and I had to get across, had 8 people at the table and I needed to do, I was hitting the one at the other end, at the other head of the table. Woo, I was sliding those things and I'm about cut them. That was awesome. Love that. It was like I felt like I was Gambit,
The song's getting ready to run out. You got to wrap this up.
Oh, I'm sorry. That is Gametoppers LLC.com.
Japanime Games has a new Skirmish game that's come out recently called Japanime Tactics Granblue Fantasy. Now, this is a skirmish style game. They can play 2 to 4 players and it takes about 45 to 90 minutes. Now, if you've played any type of skirmish game, this is going to have a lot of similar feel to it. Very few miniatures on the board. You are going to have 4 different terrain tiles that will be randomly set up. They have elevations. They block line of sight. They provide cover. A lot of the standard fare. But what we want to do today is maybe look at what makes this game different. Now, because it is a skirmish style game and because of the theme, I thought it'd be really cool to have my sons, Brett and Travis, on. So guys, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
And before we get into the game, Granblue Fantasy. I have no clue what that IP is. So what exactly is that?
Granblue Fantasy is a mobile game developed by Cygames. It's been around since early to mid 2010s, but it's sort of grown past just being a mobile game, and it also has a fighting game that came out recently, and it had an updated version come out, and a action game that came out recently.
All right, cool. So that tells me a little bit about where these characters came from, because you're going to be playing from characters in this universe. Now, this is a miniature style game, but it's not your typical 3D style miniatures. They're actually acrylic standees that are clear, nicely painted. They look really good. I do have an issue with them. I'll talk about that later, but typically I really like acrylic standees, and these quality-wise look really good. So let's just dive into the game itself. So you're going to draft 4 characters, set up teams, and then you're going to try to possibly win objectives. You can try to knock out every character from the other side, and you're going to be playing over 6 rounds. So it's very standard fare, but I want to focus on what makes this game unique, because when you take the 4 characters, each of them has a deck of cards, shuffle those cards together, and you're going to play. Now, everything's done with cards, no dice or anything.
No dice at all. It is all very deterministic. There is no chance in this game.
Outside of the cards you draw. On your turn.
Yes.
So no dice rolls. Nothing like that. It's just going to be strict calculations from the card going against statistics.
So let's just go through kind of like a player turn. It's your turn. What do you do on your turn exactly?
In a full game, you will be controlling 4 different characters. And what you will do is you will have your hand of cards. You will play a single card in order to activate one of your characters. When you activate a character, they can move up to their movement speed, which is listed on their character card. And then you may perform an action. Actions can be attacking, and how your character attacks is listed on their character card. It could be moving again for a dash. It could be drawing a certain number of cards, or it could be taking the first turn. But after you activate one of your characters, your opponent then activates one of their characters.
Yep, it's a very back and forth style of game. Part of that is you can only activate a character once per round, and you have kind of a wild card slot every round, so you can activate one character again if you want.
Yeah, each of you are dealt a command card that can be used once per round. And you talked about playing that you have to play a card regardless of what you do. On each card in the upper left-hand corner is an icon and color. And those things can give you bonuses based on the actions that you take.
Not only do they provide bonuses, but if you play another card of the same color, you are able to perform what they call a
chain.
A chain, which adds a little bit of depth, since you will be able to activate more before your opponent is able to. But your strongest form of defense is an action aptly named Defend, in which you have to discard a card and activate one of your characters. So, if you try and cash out and activate everyone all at once, you might not be able to defend with the card that you want, and you'll have to go for the evade option, which is you discard a card off the top of your library, and you just got to hope it helps you.
That's right. So let's talk about how some of these stats work. So I talked about the icon and color. Let's say, for example, I discard a card, I move, and I'm going to attack. Now, if the upper left-hand color matches my attack color, I get a bonus +1. Or if the icon matches, I get a bonus +1. If it's the same color and the same attack icon, I get a bonus 2.
Yeah, that is correct. And there are only 4 different attributes. So you're not going to be juggling too many things around at a long time. It's your movement speed, your attack power, your defense, and your interact, which is the ability that you use. That's how many cards you draw if you draw cards, and it's used to interact with certain objectives.
Yep.
It's interesting because not only do you have those colors and their attributes, since each character has their own deck, they also have their own specific cards. And each card could have an action on them, but they can only be activated if you play that card on the corresponding character. So you want to be careful, because you might have a card that could match both the color of another character's attack, and you could potentially get up to +2 power for that attack, but you'd be giving up a potentially stronger action if you used the character action.
Now, I think it is important to point out the fact that the card you discard does not have to be the character card of the card you're activating.
we didn't say that. You're inferring that, but I mean, just make that sure it's important, because when I first started playing, I was like, wait a minute, what if I don't have the character card I need to activate? Well, it doesn't matter. You just have to discard a card of any character. Bonus if you happen to discard a card of the same character and possibly be able to take any actions.
One of the things that immediately struck me about this game is just the quality of the board. How it's set up is you have, how many tiles? About 4 different tiles that are dual side. There are just a lot of different combinations you can have on the type of board. And they also gave 3D terrain for trees. And there's also just hill kind of box that adds some nice dimension and good aesthetics to the game when you look at it. This gives a lot of replayability to the game. There's a lot of built-in maps that you get just from the base box, especially if you get multiple different ones. So there's just a lot you can do with the board, and it really shakes up the game whenever you play again.
And they're not there just for looks. Trees can provide cover. Hills can provide a bonus to attacks or bonus to defenses. So like I said early on, like in a typical skirmish game, terrain matters, and they've implemented that through like little 3D models and stuff. Now, the box that we have was a starter box, which comes with 4 characters. But if you want to add more characters, they have booster boxes, which contain of one of every other character. So there are ways to expand beyond what's in the box. There's 2 starter boxes, and then there's multiple booster boxes. So there's a lot of characters out there that you can mix and match to make your own team.
If the idea of a booster pack doesn't sound appealing, they do say that if you just buy the box of all 12 characters, you are guaranteed to get one of each of the characters. So if you are looking at this for more of a competitive thing, and you're not looking to just pick up a booster pack here or there, that is the definitive way to just buy the whole expansion right there. Mm-hmm. You could just buy one of the booster packs that includes 12 characters, and you will have every single one of them, and you're ready to go.
And the starter box will hold 16 characters.
Yep, we can confirm the starter box holds everyone you get in the starter box, plus an entire booster box worth of characters.
And each booster pack is a nice tuck box for storing your cards and your acrylic figure. Now, the art is really good. If you can go look at Granblue, you'll see it has incredible characters. It looks like an anime style art. I'm going to go back to a little nitpick that I had that we got while we were playing. The acrylic models are only painted on one side. They look amazing, but either your opponent's not going to be able to see what the character is, or you're not. And many times during the game, I was picking up a character over and over. Which one's this one? Which one's this one? I wish they had painted both sides and just done a mirror image of the other side. So they both look the same, but just one's the mirror of the other. So I wouldn't have to continue to do that.
Plus, some of these standees can end up being pretty wide. So sometimes you have to sort of orient and play Tetris a little bit to get 2 characters standing next to each other. And then when another character comes up adjacent to them,
there's a little bit of overlapping if you have 2 huge characters side by side on the tiles, for sure.
Yeah. Now, I should have probably talked about this earlier, but a lot of the thing is, how does combat work? Well, like we talked earlier, you do an attack, and the person that is being attacked has a defense value. And if they defend, you're just going to subtract their defense from the attack. And if it's higher, then you're going to take damage to that amount. They get enough damage on them, they're knocked out of the game. There are some characters that can heal and stuff. So it almost, to me, has a feel of like a tactical JRPG, like a Fire Emblem or something like that. You're bringing in 4 people. It's turn-based. They each have their own special actions. There's melee attacks. There's 2 types of range, like it's a straight line of range or area of attack. So they've incorporated a lot of the stuff. If you like Fire Emblem tactical games or like Advance Wars, even though that's not fantasy, then you might dig this.
it definitely has a sense of familiarity for those familiar with either those grid-based, turn-based video games or other skirmish games that are played also on a grid. Whether that's a good or a bad thing, I think is up to the player. But for me personally, I do like that. I do like a sense of, like a baseline feeling of familiarity and understanding going into a new game.
Do y'all feel that there's a sense of tension that's gone because there's not a dice-based roll? You kind of know going in how you probably are going to do or fare without that tension of rolling the dice around in your hand and resolving?
I can understand where that's coming from, and I do think I do miss that sort of randomness and unpredictability. But I think the cards in the deck kind of make up for the slack of having to adapt. Instead of having to adapt to dice rolls, you adapt to card draw.
And like we talked about, activation is very important, whether it be for defend or whatever. Activating multiple people at once will leave you vulnerable later on, because once you've activated all your characters, that's it. And if you've chained multiple characters together, you're just going to be watching the other person take their entire turn. But there might be a benefit. Maybe you're close to winning the game. Hey, and if I can chain 2 characters together, I can actually win by taking over the objective or knocking out the other person's characters. I also do like it's a timed game, 6 rounds, and that's it. You resolve at the end of 6 rounds, so it's not going to go on forever. And the games we played, 30 to 45 minutes. It really depends on the scenario, I guess.
The game does move very fast, and I think one of the biggest strengths of the game is the fact that it starts very fast. It's not like a bigger war game where round 1 can potentially be like a setup. The game starts round 1. In a common format that they have, you designate a 2x2 square in the middle to be an objective, and you could easily, on your very first activation, move twice and end up right on top of that objective, and it just throws you right in. And then from there, the game moves incredibly fast.
That was one thing that I really like about this game is not only does it move fast, it's incredibly modular when it comes to your structure and pacing. You can play with 4 characters per side, or you could play with 2 or 1. You can play with up to 4 players, and you can just do a lot with the structure they have with the rules.
Not to mention the objective cards.
Yes.
That add another dimension.
Which will change the objective each time that you play. Now, it's interesting that the name of this game is Japanime Tactics: Granblue Fantasy. And Travis, you mentioned this, leading to make you believe this system is called Japanime Tactics, which I have no idea. But it seems like this could be open to other IPs that this company happens to have.
The door is definitely open. I don't know if I can say for certain, but the rules themselves aren't strictly Granblue Fantasy rules. They can be applied to a broad spectrum of franchises and properties.
I know in the past they've released games, Attack on Titan. They've done Cowboy Bebop. Either one of those types of IPs would work in this system. So it'll be really interesting to see if they put on other IPs in here and then be able to mix and match between Granblue Fantasy characters and other characters that are coming out. All right, everybody, that's Japanime Tactics from Granblue Fantasy. The designers are Dylan Bertolo and Josh Dirksen. Again, it's from Japanime Games. It is available now. You can buy starter sets. You can buy booster packs. It is a really good way to get into this style of tactical game, and mashing up a deck of cards and playing against an opponent and is actually a lot of fun. So, guys, we've left the game set up downstairs to sit down and play whenever we want. So let me know when you're ready to play. I'm ready to go again. And thanks for coming on and doing this segment.
Absolutely.
Yep. Again, thanks for having me.
Tony and I are big fans of eWin racing chairs. Each of us have one. We've been enjoying it for years. And they reached out to us and said, hey, guys, would you like to check out our new Champion Series chair? And we said, sure. So they sent this thing over, and let me just tell you, this is a really, really nice chair. Number one, the assembly is always easy. It's packaged very well. Instructions are easy to follow. It's easily assembled within 30 minutes. All the tools are included. This chair has the leather type look to it. It's black. Has some nice stitching on it. In fact, if you want to see pictures, head over to our website, rolldicetakenames.com, where I have a written blog with a bunch of pictures of the chair. But there's some really cool features that this thing has. The thing that I love the most, the 4-way lumbar support system, which allows you to adjust the height and depth of the lumbar support to achieve the ideal fit for your back. My chair currently has this, and I love it. Helps support the back, keeps you from getting sore. The magnetic memory foam is really nice. Instead of having, a headrest that's strapped around the back, this attaches magnetically, easy to adjust, very comfortable. It's made with a durable carbon steel frame. It's padded with temperature and pressure sensitive cold cure foam core, and the armrest have a lot of different articulation. The height, the swivel, the width. You can slide the armrest forward and back so you can find the perfect spot for your armrest. Like all the others, this is a top-notch chair and worth checking out. You can click the link in the show notes to go see all their chairs, but here's the big thing, y'all. You get 30% off on any of their products, chairs, desk, whatever, when you use the code RDTN. And many of our listeners have taken advantage of that, and it's worth it. If there's a $300 chair, boom, take $90 off for $210. And again, like I said, it applies to anything on the site. So head over to eWin Racing, check the link in the show notes, use code RDTN, and get 30% off your order today for this amazing Champion Series chair or any of their other products. Well, I mentioned it earlier. I've been trying to play through Super Metroid, and it's not that long of a game. It's like 7 to 10 hours. But you know what? I finally finished it. I must say, for a classic game from 1994, it held up pretty darn well. And I think it's because I'm used to playing a lot of sprite-based games now, like JRPGs and stuff. But I really enjoyed the game. This is the first time I've ever played through it. To be honest with you, it was kind of on the easier side. Compared to Dread, this game is way easier than Dread was. And right after it was over, Travis asked me, so where do you rank them? Now, I know for many people, Super Metroid is one of their all-time favorite games. And it's solid, but I honestly think I like Fusion a tad more because I like the story in Fusion. There's not a lot of story in Super Metroid. But then Dread just absolutely blew me away, not only with the story, but basically the name of the game, Dread, really fits because it has a lot of tension. And it's one of those games that when it was done, I patted myself on the back because I said, that was tough. So I think the difficulty of it made me like it just a tad more. But Tony, it was fun playing this old classic game, just like I did with when I played Zelda. What did I finish? Oh, Minish Cap.
Okay. Glad you enjoyed it. You know I don't care about Metroid, so I'm glad you got to play through it. What? Don't do that. Hey, everybody, if this was a video podcast, you'd see him just look at me in disdain. Sitting there saying,
I'm just happy that you and I are chipping in and paying for NSO, the Nintendo online stuff. I'm just glad I'm getting some value out of it and actually playing some games that are on there.
I think my bill's coming up too, isn't it?
Not until the fall.
Okay.
You're good.
Well, I was playing, I went back to a classic, one of my favorites, and that was Puzzle Quest. I was playing Puzzle Quest again. That game still sucks because it cheats so bad, but that's fine.
It does cheat. I 100% agree.
Puzzle Quest is, one of those games where you're basically matching 3 in a row, either in a column or a row, and in doing so, you're building mana that will allow you to eventually cast a spell on the demon, the spider, the bad person, the zombie, whatever's trying to attack you. And all this is done through a questing. You got various quests that are going out there. You can outfit your character with special gear, swords, shields, armor, however you want to do it. Meanwhile, you're also updating your spells, your ability to generate various colors on the board, because let's say my spells mostly use yellow. I'm going to want that to grow so that when I do a match, what randomly drops, has yellow in it to create more matches for me later. Versus, say, the zombie, he may be wanting red. Now, how do you do damage? By either casting spells or matching skulls that come up. And I forgot about those +5s. I about lost the battle because the zombie was able to get 3 +5s in a row. And I was like, this game's cheating. I'm tired of this crap.
I played that game a lot. Was that on the eShop or did you have a physical copy?
It's on the eShop. I downloaded it. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Man, I played a mess. Was that 3DS or DS that was on?
Yeah, a long time ago. You and I played the mess out of that.
God, that was so good. It actually reminds me of a Steam game I played over the weekend, a demo. Did you play from level 99, the card game called Bullet Surge? I remember playing this at the game store, and maybe you weren't there. So it's the same sort of deal where you've got tokens that are coming out onto your play area that are moving down. And if a token gets all the way down to the bottom, it'll do damage to you. But it's done in a tabletop format. As you're playing the game, it's like, man, this feels like a video game. Well, they've come out with the video game version of this on Steam called Bullet Surge, and there's a demo right now, and it is really, really good. Like, if you play the video game, you would have never known that the inspiration was from a tabletop game. So they did a real good job of converting it. And because you like Puzzle Quest, you might like this. And in fact, you might like Bullet Surge is just like a tabletop game if you like that style of game.
And I might. Maybe I'll go over to Steam and download a copy and, just give it a try, see what it's like. Oh, man, there was something I was going to also point out playing. Oh, and then I was playing that stupid freaking card game that's like Slay the Spire.
Balatro.
Yes, that game pisses me off too.
Have you
I
won
don't know
yet?
why. I don't know what winning is.
Oh,
so
get past round 8. Have you ever gotten past round 8?
highest I've made is round 4.
Okay, that'd be no.
No.
If you beat round 8, they kind of consider that's winning, but you can keep on playing.
Okay. Because I say I've tried different strategies with my money, save up, go ahead and add jokers, don't do this, buy this card, do this. And then one time I think the game freaking cheated because I had something that would allow me to change my diamonds into hearts. And then the third series in the blind said all hearts are discounted or I'm like,
or disabled
what kind
or whatever. Yeah.
Disabled. I'm like, what kind? I just bought that card that said, yeah, I know. And that's why we did this. I'm like, y'all suck. You know, I'm like, good gosh. So, those are the 2 games.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a brutal game. I'm actually waiting on Paper Mario 1,000 Year Door to arrive.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to start playing that. Looking forward to that. But in the meantime, I think we teased this last episode that Guild Wars 2 has a new expansion coming out.
They do.
And so I was like, oh, I'm kind of interested in this. And then my son Brett started playing with his friend, and he and I started talking, and I got the itch.
Did you?
And over the weekend, I've been playing. Now, I did go back to playing the latest expansion. That's the Wizard's Tower. And I'm done. It adds the whole Z-axis of having to use this Wyvern to jump, and I'm not like, nope. I'm tired of falling to my death. I'm just sick and tired of falling to my death. So forget that. I'm going back to End of Dragons. I've picked up my Necro, and I'm going to play through End of Dragons, and then possibly Path of Fire so I can get my Wyvern and get 250 gold and buy my permanent flying mount.
Yeah, so that's what I need to start working on because I finally got it down in the the Vertebrink and that one. If you didn't have mounts, and I don't know how they played Vertebrink without the mounts, and I know they figured out how to do the gliding and the jumping and things like that. That was just freaking irritating me, and I'm like, okay, I need to go find a flying one. And Dragon Bash is going on right now, so it's reset. So now you need to go do the daily, and that's just mostly getting jawbreakers and being able to get various types of stuff, new weapons, things like that. Not the best of the best weapons, but hey, it's a good 15 minutes for me at night, every night where I'm going out there. What we need to do is get Discord people to come back on, and we need to up our ante on our guild. We need to get some harvesting nodes on the guild. We need to do things like that. So maybe we'll try to figure out one night a week where we can say, hey, for an hour, the guild, come on back in. But a lot of the people have dropped it. I know that.
You don't have End of Dragons, though, do you?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have a character there?
No. I got a character there, but I'm not doing the story.
Oh, okay. Because I need to farm hero points there. So I don't know if you want to get together sometime and farm some hero points in there. I'm trying to up my Virtuoso to the max.
Mm-hmm.
I will be buying day one the new expansion because they introduced Spears, and Spears was always fun in Guild Wars 1. And every class will get access to a spear, which would be cool.
Yeah, which one? That was one of my favorite characters I have.
Sunspear.
It may have been the Sunspear. I had that. That was one of my main characters. I loved that character. I went and played Guild Wars 1 the other day.
I've pulled it up every once in a while. So that was in Cantha. That was the expansion. I can't remember the name of the expansion. Where it introduced Cantha, the Asian area where End of Dragons is, and they gave you the Sun Spirit and the Dervish. And the Dervish is what I made and absolutely loved. No, not Sun Spirit. Sun Spirit, something else. Paragon. That's what it was called. Paragon. Yeah. Dervish came up in the following one, but I did the Dervish in that one.
Okay.
In the next expansion.
Yeah, the North. The North.
Eye of the North. Eye of the North.
Yeah, I know where they did the destroyers and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that was tough. Finished that one, but there's a few I haven't. But anyway, that is Guild Wars 2. Yeah, let's just set up some time. Still got some Star Wars Unlimited, haven't played in a while, so we need to sit down and do that. I just got a fire alarm in my house.
I was like, is that you or me? And it's like, please don't be me.
Man, if we didn't have this outro coming up, I think we would have it. But with that, I think we need to keep rolling dice so I can check out a fire.
Hey y'all, thanks for listening. You can follow us on the socials at Dyson Name. Please join our Discord channel. You can support the show over at buymeamoonpie.com. Our next episode will all be focused on racing games, which we're excited to play and tell you all about. As promised from the person who sent us our taste buds food, how does the moon cut his hair?
Don't know that one.
Eclipse it.
Of course. Should have known that. That's good.
Thank you, Joshua.